And now, here's your host, Jansan Davis.
Welcome, everybody, to the second hour show. Thank you all for coming today. It's great to see you all. Today, we'll be interviewing the man, the myth, the legend, the inventor of the American system. Welcome, Henry Clay.
Thank you, everybody.
So, folks, I learned a new stat yesterday. Mr. Clay, do you know that 94% of American history is people complaining about taxes? So I heard you are trying to create a new tax import on goods. As a tariff, I understand it. Many people don't like the idea of having to pay more money to the government, especially the South. What do you have to say to defend your position?
Well, Jansen Davis, I think that by changing the tariff on products coming into our country, we can encourage our citizens to make purchases within our borders. Andrew Jackson created the first tariff, and it has some significant side effects, as we can all see. Some states didn't like being forced around by the government and decided to take matters into their own hands and nullify the law. I hope to be able to reverse this and unify our country once again.
Of course. Earlier, while introducing you, I mentioned the American system. Would you care to explain that?
The American system was an idea I had to make sure our country stayed connected. Right now, it seems at the moment our country is splitting into 3 different sections.
I understand. So the country seems to be divided. Could you explain what these 3 sections are?
Well, the way I see it, we have this huge, beautiful new country, and then we have the eastern states, the southern states, and the western states. The eastern states have their factories and making new products. The southern states grows cotton, and the western have their natural resources. I just know that America will end up splitting into smaller countries if we don't unify once again.
So how exactly do you plan on fixing this problem?
Oh, that's simple. Instead of building walls, I'll build roads.
What a great idea! Why didn't I think of that? No, but really, how do you plan to fix this?
You see, building roads is my idea for the American system, to unify the country. I'll build the roads and make river routes that allow the major cities to trade with each other. The east, south, and west can all trade their resources with one another instead of having to go out and trade goods with other countries. As you can see, it's all about transportation.
Because you know I'm all about that transport, no exports. I'm all about that transport, no exports.
All right, Clay, back to business. I've got a few more questions. You ready?
Fire 'em at me, Jim. I'm Jansen.
In the election of 1824, it is rumored that you used your influence in the House of Representatives to further support John Quincy Adams for you to become Secretary of State, and therefore causing Andrew Jackson to lose. What do you have to say about this?
Yes, I did drop out of the running and shifted my support towards the young John Adams. I thought he would make a better president than Jackson. He seemed more focused and determined than his lesser counterpart. I knew I had no chance at winning the election and decided that I would rather help someone who I preferred to take the position than someone I didn't want to have the job. Adams has my full support, and I suggest you all favor him too, as he holds the future of our country in his hands.
So I take it you and Mr. Andrew Jackson aren't exactly BFFs?
Yeah, you could say that. He bullied me when we were kids.
Are you being honest?
Of course not. I'm a politician. Wait, that came out wrong. Anyway, me and Jackson just don't see eye to eye on things. He has a temper and sometimes has a hard time being reasonable. He doesn't seem to hold very much respect for people. And not to sound childish, Jansen, but Jackson is just so rude.
Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Why you gotta be so rude? You're not the president anyway.
Well, that makes perfect sense. No wonder you two don't get along. Well, thank you for speaking with me. I really appreciate your time.
Of course, Jimmy. No, of course, Jansen. It's been my pleasure.
What do you say, folks? We have him back?
6 years later.
Hey, Mr. Clay! Nice for you to come back.
Of course, anything for you, Jimmy. Who's Jimmy? I mean Jansen.
Well, it appears your plan didn't fully work. I mean, Andrew Jackson is now President of the United States.
Don't even get me started!
Well, isn't that sad, folks? A nice guy like Mr. Clay is so upset. What a shame. It just pains me to see him sad. He's such a great guy who only wants the best for our nation. What a fine guy.
Hey Henry, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey Henry. Hey Henry.
Well, guys, I suppose now it's time to chat with our current president. Not that I'm very happy with him, because he's been beefing with my old buddy, Henry Clay, But welcome, Andrew Jackson. Alright, folks, it's time to give a little thanks around this Thanksgiving season. It's time to write us some thank you cards. So, Mr. Jackson, here's how this works. We write thank you cards to each other. I'll go first. Dear Andrew Jackson, thank you for being the 7th president. Thought that was a lucky number, but you certainly proved that wrong.
Dear Jansan Davis, thank you for letting me on your show. You may like Henry Clay more than me, but at least I can remember your name.
Dear Andrew Jackson, thank you for your campaign. You said you were for the people, but you actually removed thousands of them.
I'm done here! Meet me in a duel in 10.
Okay. Dear Sir Jackson, thank you for inviting me to a duel. Regretfully, I cannot attend. I wouldn't want to shoot down your ego. All right, folks, that's all for this show. See you next year in A-Push.